everyone, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm going to show you how to make your very own bucket hat. And I hated these for a really long time, but I don't know, they've been getting really popular and I wanted to try to make my own. I actually use the Q2 Han pattern, which I will link down below, and it's a self-made pattern. So you use your own measurements, and at the end of the video, you will see if the measurements I took actually fit me for the hat. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Alright, so I finished cutting everything out. I have my brim pieces here. This is my fashion fabric and the lining. And I cut 4 of all of these. You can like fold one of these over and cut it on the fold, but I just cut all the pieces out. And then I have the band here with the fashion fabric and lining. And then over here, I just have one piece for the like round top and then the lining. So the first thing that you want to do is pin all of these side seams together for the lining and the fashion fabric for both the brim and the band. So I'm going to do that and then I'll show you guys what it looks like. Alright, so as you can see, I just pinned all of the side seams together for the brim, lining, and the band, lining, and fashion fabrics. So I'm just going to sew these up on the pattern that I created. I gave everything a 1/2 inch seam allowance. So I'm going to sew everything with a 1/2 inch seam allowance, and I'll come back and show you guys what they look like when they're done. Alright, so I have everything pressed. I just pressed my seams out. You can see I have all of them done. And so this is the brim. No, sorry, these are the bands and these are the brims. So what I need to do now is pin this portion to here. Okay, so I need to attach this part of the brim to the band. So I'm gonna grab my pins and we need to do right sides together, so I'm going to flip this to be right sides out. And then I'm going to flip this around like this and just start to match up. I'm going to flip it this way. Start to match up the seams. And then I'll just go to the next one and make sure that the band is inside of the brim. You're also going to want to repeat this for the lining. Just if that didn't make sense, I flipped the band right side out and then put the brim on top of it with the smaller side of the brim, like the smaller circle of the brim, matching the larger circle of the band, because the smaller circle of the band is going to be the hat. So if you kind of flip it like this, you can kind of see it like already taking shape, which is really cool. This is also my first hat. I've never made a hat before. So I'm just going to pin my lining and I'll show you guys what that looks like. It's going to be the same exact thing. So here are my fashion fabrics, so like the outer fabric for the hat and then the lining all pinned. So I'm just going to sew them with another 1/2 inch seam allowance and I'll show you guys what they look like when I'm done. So I decided to baste the like circle onto the rest of the hat because it felt like really big when I tried it on. So a tip for you guys when you're trying to pin the circle to the rest of the hat, which is being pinned to the band right now, I would first fold it in half like this and then place a pin here and here, and then I would open it up and then fold it this way and then place a pin here and here. That way it's easier because we have these 4 seams just to line it up, because I did try to pin it before I did like the 4 pins first, and the circle was a lot bigger than the band, but it's just because I didn't pin it correctly. So you just want to pin it evenly, and then you can go in between each one and just like pin these. Like you have to kind of line it up because this is a circle. You just have to line it up really well. So I'm going to finish pinning it and then I'll show you guys what it looks like, but I just want to baste it really quick to see if it actually fits, because I feel like right now it's going to be huge even though I did the right measurements and everything. So we'll see how it turns out. This is what it looks like right now, and after I pinned like the 4 kind of corners, I then in those sections had to pin the center of those and then could pin the center of those small ones, if that makes sense, because I tried to do one of the like quarter sections by just like trying to pin it, but it's better if you just try to pin the center of that and then the centers of those. So I pinned all that, and now I'm just going to baste it and see if it actually fits me. I thought it actually kind of fit pretty well. I don't want to try it on because like my room's a mess where I'm crafting it right now, but yeah, it looked pretty good. So it would look really weird if I tightened it at all, so I just went back around with a regular straight stitch. I used a 3.5 stitch length, and I like back tacked so it won't come out now. So now I'm just going to clip, and I'll show you guys how I do that. I have the hat, like the circle part here, so I'm basically just going to snip until right before the stitches. So like that. You don't want to, did I clip them? No, I clipped really close, but I did not clip the stitches. So you want to do that all the way around. I'm going to do that and just show you guys like what it looks like when I'm done. You can also trim this down to like 1/4 of an inch if you'd like. Normally I would be doing this on the floor or like on a surface, but I just want you guys to see like what I'm doing. So that's why I'm holding it up weird and cutting like this. But yeah, definitely do this on a surface, like a flat surface. Okay, all done. So you're just going to want to repeat the process of sewing the circle to the lining, just like we did here, and then like how you pinned it earlier with this one, and then trim it or clip it. If you wanted to trim the seam allowance here, I would do that before clipping, because then if you clip and then you try to trim it, it's just like you get these little pieces everywhere and it's a pain in the butt. So I'm just going to repeat this same process with the lining, and I'll show you guys what that looks like. And I'm also going to flip this to the outside, like right side out, and I'm going to press it just so it's nice and flat. And if you want to top stitch it, you might want to press the seam allowance down towards the band, and then you can top stitch. I'm not sure if I'm going to top stitch yet. I might do it, but I will let you guys know. Alright, so I finished, here it is, I finished the, can't see it, this is the lining, it's all crumpled up, but I finished the circle in there. So now you can see this is the top of the hat right here and the brim right here. So I am just going to be top stitching the brim and everything, so you can see that my needle is over to the left, and I'm just lining up this seam with this line I have on my foot. So these are my settings. The stitch length is at, sorry, the width is at 0.5, and I'm using a 3.5 stitch length, and mine is not on automatic back tacking like this one, so I'm just going to automatically do it myself. or manually do it myself. That makes more sense. So I'm just going to top stitch around here, and I'll show you what that looks like. And I'm thinking I also might top stitch this, maybe, possibly. I might also top stitch here, so we'll see how that goes. So you can see here I have both of my pieces. I have my lining and my fashion fabric, and I did top stitch the like brim of the lining, but I don't think I'm going to top stitch the kind of like top part. I don't think it really matters, and I don't feel like wasting my time doing that. But I did top stitch here and here on the fashion fabric, or like the outer fabric. You can probably see it better like this. I did that top stitching. So now I am going to flip my outer fabric inside out, have my lining right side facing out, and my outer fabric wrong side facing out. And I'm going to put the right side of my lining inside of here so that the right sides are matching. So I'm just gonna put that in here. I need to put the camera down, so I'll do that quick and show you. All right, so I've got right sides together for the lining and the fashion fabric, and I pinned everything. I did like the four corners and then in between again. So I'm just going to sew this up with, again, a 1/2 inch seam allowance, but I'm going to leave like maybe this whole section open or something, just a few inches, so that I can turn it right side out when I'm done sewing. So the brim together and left this space open. I also decided to pink the edge, the raw edge, because it was like fraying a lot. So I'm just gonna flip this inside out. Yay, now we have this like weird double hat. So now you just have to like stick it inside, and we just need to press this really, really well. So I might, when I press it, I'm probably going to open it up actually like this and press it so it's flat, and then I will shove it back inside. Here it is. I flipped it right side out and just steamed the edge really, really well. And I tried it on again, and I feel like it still looks really big. Like I could probably take an inch in and it wouldn't be like too tight and look weird, but I don't know, I'm kind of already too far along, I guess, to redo that. So I'm just going to do the stitches along here, and then it'll be done. So how I'm going to do all of these lines, I usually just like to follow, oh, that's blurry, follow like my presser foot. So I'll do, I'll kind of like top stitch along here, but make sure that this is folded under. So I'll top stitch. I'll line those stitching lines up with the edge of my presser foot and just do another row and keep doing that, if that makes sense. I'll do it. I'll do the top stitching and then I'll show you guys what I mean. And also I wanted to mention, this is the opening right here. So as I'm doing my top stitching, I'm going to top stitch that closed. All right, so I did that first top stitching line. So now I'm just going to move it over, like my fabric over, until that stitching line is against the outer right side of my presser foot. So now when I sew, I'm just going to try to line up this stitching line with the right side of my presser foot. All right, and sorry for the strange, like really bright lighting, but this is what the hat looks like, and this is what those seams looked like. They're a little wonky in some places, but you know, it's handmade. And it did at the end, like of each row, these are like where I stopped and continued on to a next row. It did get a little bunched up, but overall I think it came out really cute. So here is my final bucket hat, and let's see how it fits. I feel like it's gonna be too big. Can you see me? Yeah, it's a little big. Oh, I can flip it up. Yeah, so the band is about 3 inches too big, I think. Yeah. So this is the hat without me like pulling it or anything. This is what it looks like. And then if I pull it a little tighter, looks better. So that's about measuring with my thumb in the back. I learned this like a really long time ago, but this part of your thumb is approximately like an inch, like this section. So it's about a little more than that. So it's about 3 inches too big all around. So if I ever make another one of these, I will make it 3 inches shorter in the band and then fix everything else. But I think it's like cute. I wanted to make this so that I could have it like when I'm at the pool, because I have a big sun hat, and when I tried to like lay my head back, the sun hat just wants to like do its own crazy thing. So this will be nice. And then if I'm knitting or reading a book, I can like actually shade my face. But yeah, I think this was like really fun. If you want something that's like quick, like a Sunday afternoon, I literally made this in a day, less than a day. It was like half of a day. Cute little fun summer project, and I kind of want to make some for my cat. So if you want to see that, and if you want to see more pictures of the hat, definitely check out my Instagram down below. And if you're new here, definitely hit the subscribe button so you can see all my future videos. And if you liked this video, hit the thumbs up so I know that you liked it, because otherwise I don't really know. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!